So the Giants fall to 0-3 against the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm sure some of you probably want to hear me rant and enjoy my Giants rants here and there. Tonight's not the night. I don't have the energy. I'm disappointed. It's just been an awful day. Like this was the game they had to win, and they didn't do it. And it's probably some of you that are like, Mike, aren't you happy this is fitting your narrative? Like, no, I'm sick of losing. It's awful. Like I can't even, like, I don't know. I just feel dead. Like it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just awful, and I can't even get that mad about this. I'm just like disappointed at this point. It's like when your father says to you, "I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed." That's how I look at the Giants right now. It's just it's hard to just sit there and be like very frustrated because it's like we see the same crap every single week. A play where it's like a layup basically. The Adoree Jackson interception that should have been. The Darius Slayton catch last week that should have been. They find a way to lose a game every single week. Evan Ingram comes back, fumbles. It's the same crap. Daniel Jones almost had a crucial fumble because Nate Solder got beat in a 2-minute drill when they're at midfield. Like there's just the same crap every week. This team is poorly coached, and here I am ranting about this already, so I knew I kind of didn't fulfill my promise there, but this team is not well coached. I mean, Joe Judge is supposed to be the guy that, is supposed to have his team ready and disciplined, and you don't see that so far. This team is coached terribly. Jason Garrett is horrendous, and Patrick Graham has not really impressed me so far this year. Maybe a couple plays here and there, but overall, Patrick Graham has not been too impressive, I will say. Maybe the league is catching on to what Patrick Graham is doing on defense. I don't know, but he has not been as nearly as impressive as he was last year. So that's where I'll start. The offense, we'll start there, I guess. Daniel Jones still looked good. I don't have the stats off the top of my head, but I believe he had did he have a rushing touchdown? I forget, but the Giants scored 2 touchdowns as an offense. We know Saquon Barkley got one, but Daniel Jones, for the most part, looked pretty good. The Giants' offensive line at some points gave him time to throw. It was kind of like the Washington game. The Giants' offensive line during the Washington game, for about 90% of the time, they looked pretty good. They had their plays where they looked terrible. I just mentioned the Nate Solder play. There was a play where Ben Bredesen got put in a blender by Grady Jarrett, and I think Jones got sacked on that play in the red zone, by the way. Oops. But, yeah, I mean, for the most part, the offensive line wasn't too bad. Andrew Thomas, his name is never brought up. Definitely a good thing for an offensive lineman. So Andrew Thomas continues to improve here. I saw Andrew Thomas play pretty well at certain points, so I'm pretty excited about that. I guess that's the one positive takeaway, him and Daniel Jones. Now, am I sold that Daniel Jones is the future of this team and will be here for a decade? No, I still want to see more. They can't even put up more than 14 points against the freaking Falcons without their best cornerback one. And yeah, it's not all Daniel Jones' fault. I never want to make it out like that. But if your quarterback's that good, you'll score more than 14 points against the Atlanta Falcons defense. It's I put out a tweet before. It got very much mixed reviews for the people that reacted to it, saying that I think if the Giants had a top 12 quarterback in terms of talent, we're talking like the Justin Herbert, the Josh Allens, the Aaron Rodgers type guys, just that type of group. I think the Giants would be at least 2-1 because, you look at the games they played the last 2 weeks. Washington's game came down to the wire. Yes, the defense let them down pretty much, but there were times where they could have done more in the red zone. And then this week, putting up 14 points against the Atlanta Falcons once again. So, I can't sit here and blame Daniel Jones because it's not really his fault, but I also have to acknowledge that the Giants could do better at the quarterback position. Daniel Jones, as far as I know right now, is a game manager on a bad team, and that's never a good combination. If you put a good roster around a game manager, that's okay. You can win with that. Can you win with a bad roster and a bad environment around a game manager quarterback? I don't think so, and we're seeing that with the Giants right now. So while Daniel Jones continues to look good and is making strides, I don't know. The surrounding sucks. They had one play in this game of over 20 yards. The one play they had was the CJ Board completion down the right sideline. I think that was early in this game as well. Outside of that, the Giants had no other plays on offense over 20 yards. So whether that's a Jason Garrett thing, whether that's like Daniel Jones not finding his receivers downfield, I don't know. They can't break a big run unless Daniel Jones is doing it. And by the way, there was no read option plays in this game. How do you, if you're the Giants and you're Jason Garrett and you go back back and I'm assuming watched the film from that Washington game and you saw how well the read options were working and Chase Young was biting on the edge and Daniel Jones would keep the ball and run for like 30, 40, 50 yards, how do you not run any of those in this game? That was like one of the most effective plays for the Giants on offense last week, and they don't run any of them. Like I can't remember a time where the Giants ran a read option in this game. Like I don't know how you saw it work so well the previous week and then don't do it here the week later, 10 days later, by the way, it went with extra preparation, extra time to watch film, and once again playing the Atlanta Falcons. Coming into this game, I talked about it. Some fans thought Atlanta's a joke. We'll beat them by 2 touchdowns. And then there were some fans that thought we'd win by a little bit of points. That was me. I thought the Giants were going to win. I'm stupid. Okay, I get it. And there were some fans that thought we can't beat anybody. And I guess that group of fans is right. As pessimistic as I am, I tried to be objective about everything. And I did think the Giants were going to put up a good amount of points offensively. I had them for 27 points personally. But even me, as pessimistic as I am, I was still overestimating the Giants offense coming into this game. I felt good about them coming off that Washington game, scoring 29 points and looking good offensively, but Jason Garrett just reverts back to his old ways. And speaking of Jason Garrett, there was a play, I want to talk about this later, I guess I'll get to it now because I'm just all over the place, but there was a play where Joe Judge punted on a 4th and 3 from the 39. We'll talk about that right after this, but the play before, it was a 3rd and 3. Third quarter, they were down 7-6, right? So third quarter down 7-6. They're in Atlanta territory. They need 3 yards to get a first down. 3 yards, not very far. We're talking, I don't know, I could probably do it with my hands. It's not, well, I can't, but it's not very far, 3 yards. And Jason Garrett, from what I saw from the play before, had 2 receivers on the outside run verticals, just going deep, and 1 guy ran like a drag. That's what you call on a 3rd and 3? 2 guys going deep? Like, I understand if you want to go for it on a 4th down and then take your shot on 3rd down so you have another down to work with, but the fact that they did not convert on 3rd down, then punt the ball on 4th and 3 on Atlanta's 39, down by a point in the 3rd quarter, that is coaching scared, and that's stupid offense by Jason Garrett. And speaking of coaching scared, that's all Joe Judge has done. He had a challenge in this game that I don't think was successful. I honestly forget the play, but it doesn't matter. So Joe Judge has looked terrible. He punts the ball every time he shouldn't punt the ball. And I just went over it. They were in a 4th and 3 on Atlanta's 39-yard line in the 3rd quarter down 7-6, and they punt the ball. You're playing the Atlanta Falcons. What are you doing? It just doesn't make sense to me. I want to sit here and like Joe Judge. I like what he's about, what he says to the media and kind of the way he runs this team. But when Joe Judge has been on the sidelines this year, he's been atrocious. He's been one of the worst coaches, if not the worst coach in the NFL so far this year. And I really thought he would improve in year 2, but so far he's regressing, like a lot of people on this team. So yeah, I am not happy with Joe Judge. No, I don't want him fired yet, but I have to see more. I mean, this is just terrible coaching. From what I've seen, his team is not ready. They're not prepared. There's too many penalties. They're beating themselves. They can't put up any points in the red zone. It's all field goal after field goal after field goal. It's crazy. So anyway, Devontae Booker was inactive. Who would have saw that one coming, right? I mean, I was pretty satisfied for the most part with the Giants offseason. I hated the Booker signing. I thought it was stupid. And you make him inactive in week 3 already? And the guy that was behind Saquon Barkley for the most part was a fullback and Elijah Penny? Like, why is Devontae Booker a healthy inactive? Why did you pay him 2 years and $6.5 million to make him a healthy scratch in week 3? It makes no sense. Like, I know it's not the biggest contract in the world. It's not going to set the Giants organization back, but the Giants are one of the teams with the lowest cap space in the NFL right now. And that's another sad part about it. The Giants right now, by the way, have the 3rd least amount of cap space in the NFL. They are around teams like the Rams, the Dolphins, the Saints, and the Patriots, teams that are probably a lot better than us, especially the Rams and the Saints, who we play next week, by the way. But anyway, where was I getting at with this point? So anyway, Devontae Booker, that signing just did not make sense from the jump, and it was their first signing of free agency, which pissed me off. So you're making him a healthy and active week 3. I mean, that's why I complained about it. He's a very much replaceable player. The Giants had limited resources to work with in the offseason based on their lack of cap space, and they obviously pushed a lot of stuff down the road because they had a lot of contracts this year where Leonard Williams is not making a lot of money this year. Kenny Galladay's not making a lot this year. They kind of pushed their money down the road, which will have its future ramifications. We'll see about that. But you gave Devontae Booker that type of money to make him a healthy scratch. I don't get it. If someone can explain it to me, let me know, but I just don't get it. Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton are injured. I think both have hamstring injuries, so that could be multiple weeks, obviously. I mean, we're talking, could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't know. I'm not expecting either guy to play next week. I don't know the severity, but we'll see how it goes. Colin Johnson, he came in and kind of filled in for, I guess, Slayton's role, and he did pretty well. I think he had, 5 catches, 50-something yards. He was the guy they got from Jacksonville, tall receiver. Definitely has some upside. So I did like I did like bringing in Colin Johnson, but I did not expect the Giants to play Colin Johnson over Kadarius Toney. Now, I don't have the snap counts in front of me. I can't look at that. But just like with a naked eye watching the game, it seemed like Kadarius Toney was being outplayed snap-wise by the coaching staff and by Colin Johnson. So once again, how does a guy who was signed like a week before the season out-snap a guy that was your first-round pick? Do they not like Kadarius Toney that much? Do they not trust him enough? Toney had a catch in this game, I think, in the first quarter or early second quarter. It's like a 12 or 13-yard game. But why can't Kadarius Toney get in the lineup? I just don't get it. I don't know what's going on with the whole situation. It's pissing me off because this was a first-round pick. So, what are we doing here? Yeah, sure, he's a developmental player, but he can't play over Colin Johnson? Not Calvin Johnson, Colin Johnson. He can't play over Colin Johnson. Not Andre Johnson, Colin Johnson. Stupid. I don't get it. Saquon Barkley scored a touchdown. He did like that whole Superman over the line thing, so that was cool. But on the downside, he had 3.2 yards per attempt against, once again, a terrible Falcons defense. They included Saquon more in the passing game. I will say that. He had some receptions in this one. I'll go over his stats real quick with you guys. But yeah, Saquon, I guess, had a couple runs where he looked pretty good, but for the most part, it was pretty underwhelming for the most part. Saquon, through the air, had 6 catches and 43 yards. That's what you have to see. More of that, please. 6 catches, 43 yards. I'll take that. Obviously, you want more from a guy who was taken second overall. On the ground, though, 16 carries, 51 yards, 3.2 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown. I did sit here and say I expected a breakout game for Saquon here in 2021 to happen this week. But this was not really what I had in mind. Sure, it was better than what he's done the past 2 games, but this is, I expected better from Saquon Barkley. But maybe he's trending in the right direction. So we'll find out how he does the rest of the year. 1 play of 20-plus yards on offense. I mentioned that. Evan Ingram's back. He's back in our lives, and silly me, I sat here doing the pregame for this and said, hey, maybe Evan Ingram was missed by this team. Maybe he'll come back and help. Gee, I was stupid for that because Evan Ingram, I think, caught his first pass and fumbled the ball. It happened before halftime. It didn't result in any points for the Falcons, so that's fine. But still, I mean, you catch your first pass and you fumble like that. That's what Evan Ingram does. And I'm trying to be an Evan Ingram supporter. I feel bad for the kid, honestly. He works hard, but just everything seems to not go his way. You can't make your first catch of the season after missing the first 2 games and fumble at midfield. It was just awful. So the Falcons defense, as I mentioned, they stink. They were giving up the most points in the NFL entering this game. They gave up 48 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 2, and I think 33 in week 1 to our division rival, Philadelphia Eagles. So the Falcons defense sucks. They were missing their cornerback one, A.J. Terrell, once again. So you figured the Giants would have a field day offensively. Well, they don't. They scored 14 points, so I'm pissed. I don't know how that even happens, but it's hard to point to a specific thing. I don't know why the Giants offense was so bad today. Running the ball, they could have been better. It's not like Daniel Jones missed many guys. I guess the penalties kind of hurt them. The red zone efficiency sucks. I get all that. But it's not like the Giants had so many. It's not like the offensive line was killing them. It's not like the drops by the receivers were killing them. Maybe the injuries to Slayton and Shepard had a lot to do with it. I don't know. But it's hard to look at a specific thing and say, this is why the Giants offense sucked. I don't know why this game resulted in 14 points, honestly. I don't know. The offensive line, I'll just touch on that real quickly. Andrew Thomas, another good performance. Ben Bredeson got beat by Grady Jarrett on that one play, but outside of that, didn't seem too bad. What else we got? Who else was bad? Nate Solder had that terrible play on the 2-minute drill in the fourth quarter. Nobody else really had an awful game. I don't really know who played that well. I'll try to go back and watch some of this game. I watched the highlights right before this once again just to kind of refresh my memory, but it's hard to kind of just watch from the broadcast view and know which offensive lineman played well. And by the way, I heard that the NFL Game Pass brought their coaches film back. I heard it sucks, so I don't know if I'm getting that either, so we'll find out. Anyway, the Giants defense, Adoree Jackson dropped the interception. So the Giants, I believe, were up 14-7. There was like 5 minutes left in the game. Matt Ryan throws one of the dumbest passes you'll see, something that a rookie would do. It looked like that Trevor Lawrence play today. If you guys saw that, he threw like a backpedaling pass and threw a pick six to a Cardinals cornerback. He was backpedaling and just threw it up for grabs. And Adoree Jackson was the only guy there, just had to catch the damn ball, go down with it, get a touchback, take over to 25. The Giants would have had the ball with 5 minutes to go, up 7. But instead, in typical Giants fashion, as I started out here at the top of this video, he drops the ball and he's banging the ground, and obviously he's upset. I get all that. And he's pointing to himself, my fault, my fault. But Adoree, we can't have this. I know it's your fault. Like, we can't have this. The Giants are not a team that has much room for error. You have to catch that ball. I understand that you're the pro athlete and I'm just, some schmuck. I get it. But you got to catch the ball. Like, there's no excuse to that. I know the ball was probably wobbly. It wasn't like it was a spiral. I get sometimes those balls are tough to catch. I get it. But you have to catch that as an NFL corner making $40 million. There's no other way I can say it. And if he catches that ball and comes down with the interception, I don't know what the Giants' win probability would have been, but probably somewhere in the 90 percentile, like somewhere at 90 and above, like they would have been in a very good spot to win this game. So that was the main killer on defense. There's still very little pass rush. We saw we saw Azeez Ojulari with another sack. So that's, 1 sack in the first, each of the first 3 games. We have 3 on the season. Good to see from our rookie. Definitely showing some potential there. Leonard Williams finally got one. Other than that, I don't know what he did this game, but he did have a sack, so I'll give him that. It was more of a coverage sack, but still. And I think Austin Johnson had one in there as well. Blake Martinez knee injury. So Blake Martinez, I have not heard anything about this yet, but he kind of went down. I think it was non-contact too, so you hate seeing that. I don't know how bad it's going to be. I'm not going to speculate, but I have not seen any type of updates yet. So just prayers for Blake Martinez, and the Giants obviously can't really afford to lose a guy like that. Kyle Pitts was pretty quiet for this game, of course, till the end. The final drive, I think, that really put them in field goal range for the Falcons, leading up to the Younghoe Koo game-winning field goal. Jabril Peppers was matched up on Kyle Pitts, ran kind of like a corner route or a 7 route, whatever you want to call it, and he torched Jabril Peppers. And Jabril Peppers, by the way, what do I say about Jabril Peppers? I mean, there was rumors from the media, and he might have said this, it might not even be rumors, but there was, the media was saying before this game that Jabril Peppers is unhappy with his current role on the Giants. But if you are covering tight ends like that, how can you expect to see the field if you're Jabril Peppers? Like, I guess in a situation where Blake Martinez is out for a long time, you could move Jabril Peppers to linebacker more. But how can the Giants coaching staff play you, Jabril, if you're covering tight ends like that? We saw you against Noah Fant. We saw you against Logan Thomas at some points. Like, you can't cover a tight end like that and kind of be bothered by your lack of playing time. I know that you're a first-round pick and you have this high pedigree and you expect to play. I get all that. But if you're not playing up to expectation, you can't be mad at the Giants coaching staff for not wanting to play you. And by the way, our GM Dave Gettleman, after the Odell Beckham trade, made it sound like we were getting another first-round pick with Jabril Peppers. I think the way Dave Gettleman said the return for Beckham was 2 first-round picks and a third-round pick. The Giants got the 17th pick in that trade. He basically said that Jabril Peppers was a first-round pick and then the third-round pick, which was O'Shane Ximines. So another freezing cold take by Dave Gettleman looking back on it. I think if this season really spirals out of control, which it probably will at this point, Jabril Peppers probably will and should be traded for like a mid-round pick. The Giants are not getting anywhere close on a first-round return for Jabril Peppers. Maybe a 5th-round pick if they're lucky. That's pretty much it. So yeah, that's not good. But anyway, they couldn't tackle Cordero Patterson. One of my concerns I had coming into this game. You would see Matt Ryan kind of just scan the field because, of course, the Giants have no pass rush, and kind of check it down to Cordero Patterson. They missed a tackle. Big missed tackle by, I think it was Rodarius Williams, who actually played a lot in this game. I think they kind of took Darnay Holmes off the field. I don't know what that was about, but once again, I haven't seen the snap counts yet, but I did not see much, if at all, of Darnay Holmes, but I saw a lot of Rodarius Williams. So he was like the 7th-round, 6th-round rookie this year. But yeah, he missed a tackle. It wasn't an easy tackle, but he missed a tackle on Cordero Patterson on a screen pass. He had like a big 30-yard gain, kind of got the Falcons' final drive going and got them in field goal range. So yeah, there was no really Darnay Holmes from what I saw. The Giants couldn't really tackle Patterson in the open field, so no surprise there though, because we're not good against shifty running backs that are receiving backs. We can't cover Boston Scott. We can't cover J.D. McKissick. We can't cover any of those guys. So yeah, that was not good. In general, it was Eli Manning Day. I was happy to see him kind of get his number thrown up there at MetLife, and he'll be cemented in Giants history forever, as we know. No one can wear number 10 again, so I'm happy about that. But just it sucks for him because he probably expects to come here and, hey, the Giants are playing the Falcons, they can win this game, and of course they just don't do it for him. John Mara got booed. That was pretty funny. I definitely, if I was in attendance, I would have been booing him myself. John Mara has put an awful product on the field. He is the main reason that this organization is awful and one of the worst 5 to 7 teams in the NFL currently, despite being one of the most highly paid teams based on cap space in the NFL. It's a joke, honestly. So John Mara deserves to be booed. Joe Judge, I kind of touched on before. He has no idea. It seems like he has no idea what he's doing. This team is not disciplined. There's too many turnovers. I got to see more from Joe Judge. And Joe Judge, after the game, had some quotes that were like, why are you saying that? It was like, I forget what he said exactly, but it just was very nonchalant. Like there's no urgency with this team. Like, guys, you're 0-3. Light a fire under some of these guys' asses. Joe Judge is out here like, we'll be fine. The morale here is good. Like, we're fine. Like, no, you're not fine. This team is heading for Ben McAdoo 2017 level if you don't get your crap together. Not to say that Judge is as bad as McAdoo, but based on who we're playing, the Saints, first game in New Orleans, I can only imagine how that crowd's going to be. The Dallas Cowboys on the road, the Rams, we're looking at 0-6 in the face. It's possible. This season might get out of hand, and Joe Judge is sitting there we're fine. I get you can't say you can't call out certain guys with the press, but I feel like Joe Judge has to have some more sense of urgency than what he's saying right now. So some people may ask, how many wins do you expect the rest of the year? I'm not saying this looking at the schedule right now. I'm just saying in general, what do I think the Giants are as a team? To me, they're just, I don't know. Maybe they win 4 games. 5, hopefully. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I'm sorry. I just don't. I hate to give up on a season in week 3. I don't want to be the pessimistic a-hole once again. But at the end of the day, I'm a realist. You guys know that. I look at this team and I say that this is not a good football team. We have a tough schedule coming up. This team sucks. We can't beat the fucking Falcons at home in week 3 on Eli Manning's jersey retirement day. Who are you beating if you can't beat the Falcons in that situation? Who? Who are we beating? We're not probably winning the next 3 weeks. Hopefully we do, but I just don't see it. This team stinks. It's probably a 4, 5, 6 win team. I have no idea. It's not a good team. So the Saints open as a favorite by 8 points. Once again, it's the first game they had back in New Orleans because remember the Saints played their first home game or 2 home games, whatever it was. They played them at Jacksonville because of the hurricane. So this is the first game back at New Orleans. We know how great that Saints crowd is. It's tough to play there. The Giants will be in a tough environment. So not really looking forward to that one. Anyway, what else do I want to talk about? I think that's pretty much it. A big play in this game that's underrated, I guess we'll talk about it because sometimes we forget about this stuff, but the Giants were in a 2-minute drill, 4th quarter, chance to go down and get in field goal range and win the game. We should have been the ones kicking the game-winning field goal with Graham Gano, but there was about 2 minutes left, and Nate Solder allowed a strip sack to Dante Fowler, the edge rusher for the Falcons. The Giants were at midfield. There was 2 minutes, 12 seconds remaining. It was a tie game. That made it 3rd and 19. So Jones fumbled the ball. He jumped on it, thank God, but it made it 3rd and 19, and obviously we didn't convert. Then had to punt the ball. Falcons had the big conversion on the screen pass to Cordero Patterson, and the rest is history. Younghoe Koo makes the game-winning field goal, as you can see in the picture below. So yeah, this sucks. I'm not in all-out rant mode. I'm just more disappointed than anything. I mean, it was one of those games where it was nerve-wracking. I was sitting there biting my nails, and my heart was pounding. It was one of those games where sometimes it sucks being a fan, especially when you lose. It's terrible. So, yeah, I'm just disappointed. I don't know. I'm not going to let off any, I don't know. I'm not going to go there yet. I think there will be a point this year where I really lose my crap and have a lot to say. But for now, I'm kind of focusing on the game. I know it's a young season. I guess the Giants mathematically can go 14-3, hopefully. But it's looking bad so far. So, I don't know. My main thing for you guys is leave in the comments, how many wins do you expect the Giants to get the rest of the year? What's the Giants' final record going to be in your guys' opinions? We'll find out. I mean, obviously over the next couple months how bad this gets, but I don't know. I just don't see a team that is well coached. I don't see a team that has an offensive coordinator that knows what the hell he's doing, and I don't see a team that has much of a running game. I see a team that their defense is regressing every game. I see a team that just doesn't know how to win. That's what the Giants are, and that's the way it is. So, and the thing is, like people may ask at some point over the next few weeks, like, Mike, how would you fix this if you were in charge? How would you fix this? And like when it comes to my life, I always try to look at how to solve a problem. I'm not a person that likes to complain and dwell on things. Like if there's a solution, I'm going to try and find it. Obviously, as a fan, I have no control over this. But like that's the thing about the Giants. I don't know how you fix them. It's like the organization's like cursed in some way, and they just don't know how to win. Like it's terrible. So I really don't know how you like fix this problem. I don't know. Like that's the very concerning part about it. Do they need a whole new coaching staff? Do they need a new GM? Obviously they do. Who's the quarterback next year? Like there could be so many different changes here. I don't know. And I feel bad because Daniel Jones is not even playing that bad, but in a realistic situation where a new GM comes in and possibly even a new head coach, Daniel Jones may be out the door because why the hell would a new GM and head coach want a quarterback that has some of Daniel Jones's flaws? You know what I mean? So I feel bad saying that, but it's, it depends how the rest of the year goes. I just don't know how to fix this. I really don't. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how they do this and whatnot. And I'm watching the Niners game. Trey Lance gets a touchdown on a keeper. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know where they go from here. It's just frustrating as hell. I'm kind of just out of words when it comes to this team. You can use every adjective in the book, and it's just like you can't. The Giants find a new way every week to just shoot themselves in the foot. Adoree Jackson just gets a layup of a interception and just falls through his hands. It just makes no freaking sense. Anyway, before I lose it, I'll just end right here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We're going for 26 minutes. Hopefully that was enough of a mini rant and review for you guys. Once again, leave in the comments how many wins are the Giants getting this year, and I will talk to you guys next time.